Hello Wolfpack, I want to do a video on altcoin season, just summing up some new charts, the new information on charts that are coming out, just kind of an update to the video I did about a week ago on it. I know my opinion on Bitcoin's very, very clear right now, right? It's in a very indecisive state. I've been bearish since 63k and more, way more bearish even from 58k, right? And I've completely sold all my altcoins out of the market at relatively high prices in comparison to now. And I encouraged people to do the same, although, it's not financial advice, of course, but, I did reference it many times in my videos that would be the smartest option. So what we're looking at now for Bitcoin, and we go over Bitcoin every day, right? So we just won't go too deep into it. But what we're looking at now for Bitcoin is we're in an indecisive state. We're waiting for the weekly candle close. We could very well see a dead cat bounce, as I've been expecting. We could also just drop down, right? It's one of those times where, before I was very certain it's going to go down. It went down. Now it's like, may as well roll a dice. There's lots of conflicting evidence on Bitcoin currently. As for the short-term price action, I will say that the long-term trend is, well, I mean, it depends what you mean by long term, but in terms of a 2021 trend, it's downwards so far, okay? It's downwards. We broke up trending level of support, etc. We've broken a lot of things. You can go, watch my videos. But right now, on a general medium to long term basis, the trend is downwards, but on a short term basis, we could see a rally. We don't really know, right? We have to wait for the weekly candle to see. But obviously the question comes, if we do see that bounce, if we do see a bounce on Bitcoin, which we will see eventually, it's just as to whether it will come now. If we do see a bounce or a dead cat bounce or whatever it may be, a full recovery, what will we be seeing in altcoins? And previously I've said that an altcoin season would be, likely, right? If we did see that dead cat bounce, I think an altcoin season would be likely. That's what I've said previously. Again, going over this now, I want to really clarify this. This is another area in which we're seeing conflicting data now, because previously when I said this, right, we can go, let me move this up a little bit so I can actually access my, 1 second guys, sorry about that. What we can actually see, I'm really not seeing, here we go, sorry about that guys. What we can see on the Ethereum BTC chart, now obviously here's the thing, right, obviously Bitcoin tops out before Ethereum generally, okay? So the assumption that we're seeing in altcoin season, the assumption that we're going to see in altcoin season relies on the historical trend in which Bitcoin tops out and then Ethereum rallies with altcoins and then Ethereum tops out and then the market crashes, okay? In the time when Ethereum is rallying, Bitcoin jumps up a little bit, but it's ultimately a dead cat bounce, which means it doesn't take new or highs. It just goes up a bit, kind of stabilizes and then drops, right? As there's no buying pressure. So the Ethereum BTC chart, the Bitcoin dominance chart, and obviously the Ethereum chart in itself have been very useful in determining when altcoin seasons happen, right? We saw one in May, after Bitcoin topped. You would have remembered that period in May. We can go to the Bitcoin chart quickly and just show you what we're talking about here. In May, right here in this circle, right, we saw a jump up from a low here at around 47k. We jumped up all the way up to around 59k. We ultimately weren't able to go higher. We weren't able to take new highs. In this period, altcoins went parabolic and then everything crashed, okay? That typically happens. That's what an altcoin season is. And so using that on a surface level, it would be logical to assume, right, assuming, the bull market is over, which is a question in itself, but it would be logical to assume that we had the high here, we came down, we corrected. As soon as we find the bottom and Bitcoin rallies a bit, right, altcoins will rally. When Bitcoin tops out, that would be the top and then everything will crash, okay? That would be the assumption that we would be making if an altcoin season is going to happen. Now, obviously, there's multiple possibilities here. The possibility is that, well, we continue going down to 42k, then we see a rally, right, and then altcoins go off, or we just do it from now. Right? Or we don't even see an altcoin season and we just go to new all-time highs on Bitcoin. Okay, if we go to new all-time highs on Bitcoin, there won't be an altcoin season. For an altcoin season to happen, we need to see Bitcoin kind of being boring and not really doing much and not really taking back much territory, right? I've said previously that in the event of a dead cat bounce, in the event of an altcoin season, the highest I think Bitcoin can go is 58k. Okay, if it goes above 61k, that would be a buy entry signal for Bitcoin, because that means Bitcoin's going to have another surge, right? But, as for altcoins, we don't want to see Bitcoin going above 58k in the short term. Now, if we look at Ethereum right now, what is Ethereum doing? Because essentially the first sign of an altcoin season, a pending altcoin season, is Ethereum showing more strength than Bitcoin. Previously, it was doing that. Previously, we had some sort of triangular formation, if I can draw it here kind of roughly. We were here when we made our last video. We were heading towards the upside. It looked good. Everything looked good. And we've recently actually broken down. Luckily we've managed to find support here on the bottom of this ascending channel that has actually been going since around August, and now we're bouncing up a little bit, but ultimately it looks the same as Bitcoin, okay? It's gone from looking very, very nice, right? Ethereum was up here at around, 4,400, while Bitcoin was, down here at 50K, very close to what it is now. But now what's happened is Bitcoin's actually taken back some territory. Bitcoin's the one seeing the bullish divergence. Bitcoin's the one seeing the bullish MACD cross, whereas Ethereum hasn't seen any sign of a recovery besides the fact that it's bottomed out on a previous level of support. There's no, clear bullish divergence. There's no real MACD cross, maybe in the next week probably, or the next few days if we see some really bullish price action. But as of right now, there's nothing really. And in terms of all the other indicators, it just looks as bad as BTC. So, in about a week, we've seen a dramatic shift in the market where we went from, and you would have remembered me saying this, we went from Ethereum looking a lot better than Bitcoin to Bitcoin looking substantially or at least slightly better than Ethereum, and to kind of compensate, and not compensate, but to in conjunction with this, and what kind of happens is when we see Bitcoin look better than Ethereum, we usually find support on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, the Bitcoin dominance chart is a chart that measures the strength of Bitcoin in relation to every altcoin in the market in terms of a percentage. So right now it's at 41%, which means 41% of the money in cryptocurrency is in Bitcoin, okay? And then the rest is in altcoins, 59% in altcoins. If we go to the weekly chart, what we can see is typically happens, right? When we see an altcoin season, like we saw here in the April to May period, Bitcoin dominance plunges, which means there's a massive exchange of capital from Bitcoin going into altcoins. People are selling their Bitcoin for altcoins, and people who are already in fiat are just buying altcoins. They're not touching Bitcoin, okay? So, in order to see an altcoin season, we want to see a drop below this fundamental level of support, this green box here, which is at 40% to 39%. If we drop below 39%, that will be confirmation that an altcoin season has begun, and that would be confirmation that will probably drop even below the 2017 lows and down to a 30% to 25% range, okay? That's what we'd be seeing. So that's the ultimate zone to watch. If you really want to simplify everything I'm saying in this video, that's what you need to take away from this. You need to take away the fact that 40% to 39% is the critical zone you need to be watching on the Bitcoin dominance chart. All right, and the reason why I'm making this video, the reason why I'm updating this video is because obviously, as I said, Bitcoin is starting to look slightly better than Ethereum, which wasn't the case about a week and a half ago. And as a result of that, Bitcoin has had a triple bottom on this major level of support. What typically happens after a triple bottom? Now, it doesn't happen every time, but what typically happens is that we find the bottom and we pump up, right? And we have a surge. And here's the thing. If Bitcoin has a surge on the Bitcoin dominance like this triple bottom is suggesting, that suggests one or two things, okay? It suggests that A, either Bitcoin is going to go to new all-time highs, or B, we're going to enter a bear market. Now, I know that sounds like something I'm just saying, oh, we're going to go up or down, but it actually does rule out something very critical. It rules out the possibility of an altcoin season, all right? And if you rule out the possibility of an altcoin season, you rule out the possibility of a meaningful dead cat bounce, okay? So what we're seeing from the Bitcoin dominance chart right now, obviously it's unconfirmed, is the likelihood of Bitcoin dominance rising is higher than the likelihood of Bitcoin dominance dropping in the current state of the market, okay? And I'll go over that again. What it means is if Bitcoin dominance rises, right, it rises in a bear market or it rises in a Bitcoin rally. You can see towards the end of 2020 and the start of 2021, Bitcoin dominance was rising, okay? This is when Bitcoin was taking off the ground, taking back previous highs from 2017, getting into the 30K region. As Bitcoin started to slow down, it started, you remember this is basically the Bitcoin chart earlier this year, right? We had a massive high and then we started to kind of slow down and then we just dropped, right? That's what it looked like, okay? As Bitcoin started to slow down in this region, right? You can see the Bitcoin dominance kind of chopped around a little bit and it actually started to flow into altcoins. And then we saw an altcoin season where we had this massive parabolic drop. Okay, so it is important to note that if Bitcoin rallies, right? Sorry, if Bitcoin dominance goes up, Bitcoin dominance rallies, that means, and that's what it's suggesting is going to happen. That means that one or two things can happen. It means that Bitcoin can have another Bitcoin season where Bitcoin rallies and altcoins don't do much, like we saw in October. You remember October because I remember heaps of people getting frustrated about it. In October, Bitcoin went from 40K to 69K or 68K. And in that time, altcoins did basically nothing, right? They didn't do much at all. And that's what we'd see, right? If this actually is the case, right? So if Bitcoin dominance drops out here, but bottoms out here, we could have a Bitcoin season in which Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs. And then the other possibility is we could have a bear market in which Bitcoin dominance trends upwards for a period of time, right? Trends upwards. So there's two kind of data points here that we need to look at, and both of them suggest that we won't be seeing an altcoin season. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just presenting the data, right? Now, the reason why it's conflicting is because Ethereum Bitcoin, which is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, okay, so Ethereum's strength in relation to Bitcoin, is actually showing us here that, you know, we've broken out of a triangular formation that has been forming since May 2021, right? We've broken it to the upside. We're currently in a very important weekly candle in which we're currently flipping this bottom level of resistance for support. You can see here this wick downwards, tested it, perfectly bounced back up, and we're testing it for support right now. If this weekly candle closes above the red resistance box, that would be a confirmation that the altcoin season is back on and likely. Okay, so there's multiple things we need to look at. I'll outline it all for you now so you can get your own charts. You can set up the alerts, because this is what this video is all about. It's about letting you know what is important to watch in the event of an altcoin season, right? And in the event of a triggering the altcoin season, so that when the confirmation happens, you can get in as soon as possible and maximize the amount of gains you're going to make. It's not about telling you what's going to happen, because frankly, no one knows what's going to happen, right? In relation to the altcoin season right now. Okay, let me tell you what's very important. Set your alarms. Go to your trading view right now. Set your alarms. Set your alarms, your alerts, on the Ethereum BTC chart at 86,000 sats. Okay, 86,000 sats. Come back to it on the weekly chart. If we closed above 86,000 sats, that will be confirmation that an altcoin season is beginning. Okay, go to the Bitcoin dominance chart. Do the same thing. Go to the Bitcoin dominance chart. Set your alert below 39%. Come back here on the weekly chart. If we're below 39% on the weekly close, that will be further confirmation that altcoin season is beginning. At those points, those will be prime times to pick up altcoins. Right now, it's indecisive, right? I've admitted that, but it isn't just brainless, right? I'm actually giving you recommendations of what you should be doing. So, you know, right now, the whole point of this market, the whole reason why I'm making so many Bitcoin videos this week, you would have noticed, is because the next 3 days and 21 hours, as you can see here before the weekly close, are literally the most important time in the whole year for Bitcoin. I have said that before, or I said that in September. I say it again now. The most important year in the most important week in the whole year for Bitcoin. It needs to hold the 50-week SMA. Okay, if it holds the 50-week SMA, there is the potential for either an altcoin season, right? In which case Bitcoin would dead cat bounce, or Bitcoin going to new all-time highs, okay? And I've outlined various scenarios there and my likelihood on the scenarios as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.